So, I figured with Brian giving me a new GoPro, we would give you guys a property update of what we're doing on the property. So, we're down here today working on taking out some more trees on the property as well as making sure the well site is prepped and ready to go. Brian's got his chainsaw he's going to start working on, and I'll give you guys a tour. Here's the driveway that we have established already. This was kind of here when we first got the property. We've got two gates, so we've got that one up there that usually has a rope across it, and then we have a secondary gate over on this side so we can have pull-through access. We've been using our trailer to make sure that we have all of our stuff but not leaving it on the property when we're not here, since we're still a little ways away and we can only come down on weekends. But they've done a significant amount of work already clearing this whole area of all the bitter brush that used to be on the ground, and then we cleared a ton of trees as well. It's about a month ago, so both of those really big log decks over there were all the trees that we took out. It came to about 20 trees. You can see we took a couple out here. These big stumps are all fresh. As well as another one over there, and quite a few around the property, just because we needed to have this space open for our home build site. So hopefully by the end of the year we'll have a house here and a garage, which would be absolutely amazing. Brian's gonna go around today and take some of these smaller trees out that are still kind of in the way. We didn't want to spend too much money with the property clearing, so we decided to use our skills and cut the smaller ones that would be safe for us to cut down, and then we're going to limb them and add them to our log decks that are kind of over here. We're not really sure what we want to do with this wood yet. It'd be great to have some elements of the house have this wood incorporated in it, like a fireplace, hearth or something like that, maybe a table, maybe a bench outside, but we're not quite there yet to figure out what we want to do. This area over here, I'll show a picture as well of what it was before, right after the land clearing happened. This was a slash pile that was tall enough that you couldn't even see that big stump in there. We came down one weekend, rented a chipper, a 6-inch chipper, and there were 3 different slash piles on the property, and we had some friends come down and help us out to dismantle the piles and get it all chipped up like you can see. And then we pulled some of the big stuff that wouldn't fit into the chipper. This is probably going to be a burn pile eventually when we can burn again. May 15th is the end of burn season, and unfortunately we didn't get a burn permit today or this weekend, but by the fall, we should be able to burn all that, and then this will all become firewood for the wood-burning stove that we're going to have in the house. And that's what a lot of this pile is going to be too. A lot of this is going to turn into rounds, and then we'll split it so that we have a few cords of wood for the winter season, and just keep working and processing through it as we go so that we can have free fuel for a while. Hopefully that'll last us quite a few years. So you can see we have quite a few baby pines. We have a lot of aspens on the property. We asked the folks who are land clearing for us to try and save as many of the aspen trees as we could. It's the Colorado girl in me, wanting as many aspens as I can get on the property. But we are taking out quite a few of the pine trees because the amount of pine duff that we have on this property is pretty excessive, and it's just fuel for fire. So we're trying to be as fire wise as we can, get rid of as much of the debris as we can, and make it so that our property lot is safe, but also it helps the neighborhood, because this was one of the most dense lots in the neighborhood when we first got down here. And that's not great when you live in fire country. So I'll go up here real quick, show you guys where our well site is. So this is where we're gonna have our well. It's gonna be a little bit further away from where the house site is gonna be, across the driveway. House will be over there. So not only can we get our power from this pole, but we'll be able to route our internet as well, which will be the fastest internet we've ever experienced. That's the update. I'm gonna turn it off now since I hear a chainsaw going, but we'll keep you informed as we move forward. Good morning, everybody. This is the next week. It is the 17th of May, and we are back down at the property working on getting a few more of the trees cut down and hopefully some stuff burned today. Our burn window open, burn season open for another 2 weeks. It usually ends on May 15th, but they extended it to the 31st. So we have a burn permit for the rest of the month, and we're gonna cut down a couple more trees, and yeah, let's do it. So as you can see, we have a ton of aspens starting to bloom and leaf out on the property. We're very excited It's getting a whole lot more green around here. So much more life, lots and lots of animals running around. We've seen a few deer, lots of squirrels, lots of bunnies running around. One other update that we had, unfortunately, our well did not get dug this last week. We were hoping they could get to us sometime midweek last week. They're hoping to get to us next week sometime midweek. And it gave us a little bit more time so we can clear out this area a little bit more for them, get that tree chopped up over there, all this tree moved, some of this debris that we have along our driveway and behind the well site as well, get all cleaned up for them so that when they come in, their trucks will have plenty of room to be able to dig the well, and hopefully by next weekend we will have water on the property. It's very, very exciting. Alright, so it is Saturday afternoon and we are at the end of our weekend working on the property. We're both exhausted. We've done a ton of work today and yesterday, and we're gonna rest tomorrow. But I wanted to show you what we've done. So, as you can see, this whole area has gotten cleared up again after we made a mess of it. So we took multiple of these trees out in this little area right here. All these taller stumps. We left them tall so that we could yank them out, yank the stumps out later, so we can prep our house site. And a lot of those ended up going into this pile right here. This is all of our rounds that we're gonna eventually make into firewood. So you can see we took the two blue, or I think it was 3 tarps off of them, so that we could uncover everything, see what we had, and all those went into the junk pile that's kind of started and is growing over there by the driveway. And then kind of cleared up this whole area. We figured out that that log deck should be okay, but this log deck is going to be directly where we need to build. So that's going to have to move somehow. Maybe renting an excavator to get the stumps out all the way around this area, as well as moving that log deck. Took out several more trees over there, cleaned those all up. This is the remnants of our burn pile that we've been going on for the last 2 days. You can see we've cleared all the way around to make sure that it was safe. We did get a permit for burning. We had plenty of water. We burned a bunch of stuff. All of the branches that were on all of the trees, most of them got burned. They were all kind of piled up in there. You'll see in the time lapse those slowly going away. You can see these stakes that we have all around the property with this tape line. We tried to plot out where we were going to have the house. So hopefully I'll be standing in the garage right now. That'll be the front of the house, this stake right in front of us. On the ground, we kind of tried to rake the ground a little bit so we could see where the lines would be. And then this would be the front of the house right here. So, yeah, we just need to get all these stumps out of the way because this is going to be our driveway eventually. As you can see, our well is still not in, which is fine. Hopefully our crew is feeling better and they can come down eventually and get that in next week. But yeah, lots of work done this weekend. good enough. So we went up to Bend today to talk to the engineers about getting the house built and all the plans set in place. So that's going really well. We're very excited. The plans came out really, really well. The downside of today is that we started getting our well put in today, which was great. We were super excited. So these guys are still here with their rig all set up on the property. Well site is right where we had the stake, so that's super exciting. The problem is this. So we got an update from the well guy, and he said at about somewhere around 150 feet they hit water for the first time, which is all well and good, except we're all on volcanic ash pumice area. So what that means is that when they hit the water, it was actually a ton of silty black ash and sand that came out. So which is fine. We were expecting about 340 feet on our well, so they kept digging. They went down to about 340 feet. At that point they hit about 15 gallons per minute, which was great, except it wasn't the volume we quite wanted, and it was still coming out pretty silty. Mainly because it was still pulling out some of the silt from 150 feet. So they decided to try and keep going. They went down another 40 feet, and they still were hitting water. But again, the silt was still kind of infused into all the water that was coming up. So what that means is that we are probably going to have to pay either to move the well site so that we can get clean water off of this ash vein, or we're gonna have to do what's called casing on the well. Usually around here, you need about 40 feet of casing at the top of the well, and then you're pretty good from there. We're probably gonna need it all the way past that 150 mark. So 150, 60, 70 feet of casing, which is gonna hit our pocketbook pretty good. It's a little disappointing. We're still excited to get water, but it's not what we wanted, unfortunately. But we will update you guys when we hear more next week. It is the weekend, it is a holiday, so it'll probably be Tuesday before we really know what's going to happen. But you can see this mud kind of sloshing around. It's really, really silty, really kind of gooey, icky. It's kind of fascinating if it wasn't so expensive.
All right, well, we're done for the day. Got a couple hours of work in, kind of unexpectedly, just got motivated to come down. Still have the mud, clay, black sand slick going all the way through. It goes, I don't know, halfway across the property down there, just past the tree that's down, all from the well. This line down the middle is, I think, towards the end of it, when it was running a little bit clear. They said it was running fairly clear water by the end of it after they got the 160 feet of casing in, but all this black sand stuff was the problem, just really gumming up everything in there, and the reason we had to put in so much casing. But that being said, we have a well now, which is really exciting. All in all, good day's work.